Hi folks, Luke Slices here. This is part of my series of fixed blade knives. Now this here was for quite a long time my kind of go-to knife. I used to carry my little silver turn, little lockback pocket knife as my, in my pocket, but then I would always have in my bag or in my desk or somewhere another knife, and it would be either this one or another buck knife, which should be able to flick open, but I can't because I can't do these things. The Buck Alpha Hunter, which in many ways is similar, but it was either that or this, and these used to be I would use these for everything from sort of camp knife through to cutting up my baguette at lunchtime and spreading cream cheese on it. So this is quite a well-used knife for all sorts of silly tasks. Comes with a quite reasonable leather sheath. I always think this retainer thing is a bit of a pain. It does get in the way, and it's got better over time, but it used to really be a right pain when you were trying to get the knife in or out. It would catch, it still catches a little bit, but there's another version of this knife comes with a nylon sheath, and I would much prefer this one. It just looks better. But this is the knife itself. In terms of markings, they're very scant in those days. I mean, I've had this knife, I'd guess 20, 25 years, something like that. Something of that order. Just says Buck and the little anvil in USA. And there's nothing on the other side, and nothing to tell you what this blade steel is. I happen to know it's 420HC. I think it doesn't have the Tony Bowes heat treat mark on it anywhere, and I don't have the box anymore, so I've no idea what that said. But it's a nice little hunting knife. I never really used it for hunting. I just used it as a general purpose sheath knife. It's got a relatively short, I think about 4-inch blade. Let's just see, shall we? Pretty sure it's 4 inches. 4 1/8. Cutting edge of 3.5. 3 5/8. It's, as I say, it's 420HC. It's hollow ground. Now, I can honestly say I've done very little sharpening on this knife. I've stropped it a number of times, but it does. It has been pretty good at keeping an edge. And I suppose cutting baguettes and spreading cream cheese, it's not as sharp as it could be, but cutting baguettes and cream cheese don't really count as hard work for a knife. But it's a nice knife, fits nice in the hand, it's got a good solid. They do two versions. They do one with a rubber grip, and they do this one with the packerwood type. I don't know if packerwood is a trademark term, so it may not be called packerwood, but effectively it's posh plywood. They do it now in a sort of walnut wood, which looks really nice, but I think again it's a composite type wood. Now, the composite sounds like I'm being derisory, but actually I think it's probably a good bit stronger than a solid piece of wood. I know, laminating it, there's lots of glue in there, which effectively makes it very stable. Then, of course, you've got brass cap and a brass guard, which I quite like a guard like that because it just stops you slipping your hand over the edge and ending up on the blade, which I've done far too many times in my life. And if I ever cut myself with a knife, it's because I've gone like this and I cut through my finger. It's also got these sort of black, I don't know what the black is, rings around there. So I don't know if that's a bolster filler and then another bit of brass. Obviously, this knife, it's done the rounds. I could have polished off all of the corrosion off the brass. But well, it is what it is. It's what, 3mm thick steel, thereabouts. So it's hollow ground. There's no need for a trial or anything. It works perfectly well like that. And it's just a really nice knife, and I like using it. Nice ergonomically shaped handle, but it's not dissimilar to my Alpha Hunter. Obviously, being a folding knife, you've got slightly different proportions. You've got a slightly shorter blade and a slightly longer handle. But again, the hollow grind, again, the 420HC, again, just marked Buck USA and the little anvil. Again, they still make this, and they do this one with wooden scales, and I think that one with the wooden scales comes with an upgraded steel. But I don't think this came with an upgraded steel. I think back then 420HC was considered a perfectly adequate steel for a working knife, and it didn't need anything better or greater. The only thing that perhaps is worth criticising in this knife is that it has a very thin rat tail tang. Obviously you can't see that because it's in the handle, but it would make it more fragile for the likes of battening and so forth. I mean, a knife doesn't have to have a very thin rat's tail just because it's got wood, the wood all round. I mean, for example, if I can find it, where's it gone? Sorry about the short interlude there. My Embler, Volkniven Embler, is in some ways a similar knife in terms of shape and style. It has a smaller guard, obviously, but this has a really quite thick tang inside a solid piece of desert ironwood. Desert ironwood's very hard. I always wonder if it's how well it take impact, sudden impacts, whether it would crack. Beautiful though. So these are similar sorts of knives. Where they radically change is that this is a hollow grind and this is a convex grind, and it's a convex zero grind with a Sanmai type steel, and this one is made in America and this one is made in Japan. This is probably, well, it is undoubtedly the better quality knife, but it is probably at least twice the price. So you get what you pay for. Well, you hope you get what you pay for. This is beautiful, actually. I really like this. Let's put that out of the way. It's very sharp, that one. I don't want to cut myself. As I say, this one here is it's an old stalwart. I've liked it for a long time. They still make it. As I say, the new one has different packerwood. I think it's still 420HC, and I think it almost certainly has the Tony Bowes heat treatment, which is definitely to be recommended. I think I will need to sharpen this. It's not as sharp as it could or should be, but it doesn't tend to get the use that it used to. I don't go camping anymore, and I don't generally prepare my baguette at the office anymore because I mostly work from home. So there's, you're in the kitchen, you use a kitchen knife, and I've even got some sort of disabled friendly knives that I use in the kitchen. So this gets relatively little use, but it is a nice knife. I like it, and I certainly would never let it go. It's not too big, not too small, just perfect. So there we go. This is, I don't think I have anything more to say about it, the Buck Vanguard. If you like this stuff, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see the rest of my fixed blade knives, not a huge number of them, but there's a few, then please click on the subscription tab and remember to ring the bell if you want notifications. So thank you very much. Bye.